Hey everybody, welcome in. This is the Bitcoin Crypto Happy Hour, and I am the Crypto Bull God. Cheers. So, this evening for happy hour, I am having a very nice red wine. I will show you what it is. I've had this sitting here for a while. This is a Super Tuscan. It is from Cooper's Hawk. If anybody's ever been to Cooper's Hawk, winery and restaurants, that's where this is from. So thank you for joining me for today's live stream. I see I have a very huge audience to kick things off here. So I try to find the humor in life. But thank you for everybody who's tuning in. So how's everybody's week been going? The week's been going pretty well on this end. You know, one of the things I was thinking to myself, honestly, before I started this live stream is that I'm kind of in this period of time right now where work is it's not super busy. Like I have a high degree of flexibility. Things aren't crazy busy. But things are definitely going to start picking up in the fourth quarter. So I was thinking about that because it's sometimes it's challenging to find the time to get content out there, and it's definitely going to be a little bit harder as we move into the end of the year. But this space very much excites me. I love creating all of the material that I do for you guys. So you know, I will definitely put my best foot forward and put in a good, strong effort to continue to get content out there. So this morning, it won't surprise you if you've been here for a while. This morning, I was at the gym, and you know, this is how I start out my day. I think it's a great way to start off your day. There was a guy who was on a machine, and he was using the machine with one arm, a lat pull down, and then talking on his phone. And then he proceeded to go to the leg extension and proceeded to do the same thing. So yeah, definitely took a photo of him and shamed him on social media because like if you have an opportunity to go in the morning and work out and kind of create your own space for yourself, and I don't know, it's a break in the day. It really, it's you time. I don't understand why you wouldn't maximize that opportunity, right? So, but hey, to each their own. You either put in a lot of effort or and see the benefits of that, or you don't. Not so much. So, one of the other things I've been kind of debating is, oh, hey, it's the Crypto Bringer. Let's see what the Crypto Bringer has to say. Okay, well, that's related to something earlier today that I can't get into, work stuff. So, where was I going? This is a really good red wine. By the way, anyone out there who's been to Cooper's Hawk, I'd be curious to know. This is a Super Tuscan, very, very good red wine. I haven't had this in a while. I want to think the last time I had this was back in May or June. I don't know when. Thank you for everyone who has just tuned in. Please hit the thumbs up button and make sure to drop a comment and let me know what you're having for happy hour this evening. So thank you for joining. Just as a refresher for everyone who has just joined, I see there are a ton of people joining right now. It's starting to really fill up in here. So for everyone who's joining, please let me know what you're having for happy hour this evening. There's a couple things I'm going to get into, sort of news related in the charts. I am having this delicious Super Tuscan wine from Cooper's Hawk Winery and Restaurants. So if you've ever been there, I'd be very curious to know. Hello from Dublin. Hot damn, Connor. Nice for you to join me. I feel like I need to have a beer. I feel like I need to have a Guinness. It's a horrible, horrible imitation of an Irish accent. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Yo, what's up, Brendan? Appreciate you always tune in. Appreciate the support. Yeah. So anyway, I hope everyone's week has been starting off well. I was just saying that putting this material together, I really didn't have as much time today to put together the live stream. So we're going to see how it goes. But I definitely have a few things prepared. We're going to go through some news articles, and we're going to go through some few charts. Jesus. So Brendan, I don't even know if you told me. What's up, Jordan? Glad to see you're back. I don't know that you told me you're from Australia. If you told me that, I forgot. That's awesome. So you're starting your morning off with coffee. I know DT. DT's also on a morning time frame when he joins, and he'll have coffee when he joins the happy hour. I'm having this delicious red wine. It's very, 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 very tasty. So I hope everyone's week has been starting off well. For those who have not commented yet, for those who have not hit the like button, really would appreciate that for the support. But I'd be curious what you're having for happy hour. You could be having something bland like water or having something exciting like a Super Tuscan wine. I'm fine with whatever. I'd just be curious to know. Let's dive into the news real quick. There were a couple news articles. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay. That was Tom Cruise level Irish accent. Yeah, it was pretty rough, right? So there were a couple news articles I wanted to get into, and I'd be curious other people's thoughts as well. So this article here that's talking about Samsung in South Korea. I guess they're sightist in South Korea, but they are looking to open up a cryptocurrency exchange. This is not surprising. I mean, these are sorts of the things we have talked about in the past, I'm talking in third person. These are the things that CBG has talked about, spoken to in the past. No, these are the things that I've sort of spoken to in the past. If you've been subscribed here for a while, and others have as well, these are sorts of the dominoes that kind of play out, right? You have FUD news articles that speak very negatively about cryptocurrencies. Maybe we should just call them digital assets. And you have all that going around, but as much as you have all the public news articles that are out there and putting out all sorts of ridiculous headlines to catch attention, right? You have all the underlying stuff that's happening. All the smart money knows. You have to think about this. If there's money to be made somewhere and you see something that's very innovative and very early on, and it's very reminiscent of the dot-com area, wouldn't you want to get in that very early, right? So this is a great display of that. So apparently Samsung's going to be working on a cryptocurrency exchange that's going to be opening in 2023. So we'll have to kind of see how that plays out. But again, not surprising if you've been paying attention to what I like to call all the breadcrumbs, right? Something else I wanted to we'll spend a little bit of time talking about this, and then we'll go back to a tweet that I had earlier today. This lawsuit is a joke. I know I'm not a lawyer, so I can't speak to I can't speak from a legality standpoint. What Ripple can and can't do, what the SEC can and can't do. But, as an example, the SEC has tried to deny Ripple access to records that show why Ethereum is not a security, why they made that statement, because they want to use that obviously as a basis to defend themselves in terms of why XRP is not a security. The judge granted Ripple the right to view those documents. The SEC has then countered that and said that they don't want that to happen. See, it just, to me, all this, and now the SEC is trying to exclude some experts that are coming in to give testimony for Ripple. For me, the sense that I get, so I know I don't tweet a lot about Ripple or XRP. I have not as much recently since the lawsuit. And that is because, simply stated, I'm just kind of waiting to see how this all plays out. There's really not much to say. I do follow Jeremy Hogan. If you're not following him on Twitter, you want to check him out. I think he does a great job of summarizing things. But this whole thing is a shit show, and the SEC seems very desperate to me. I continue to say that I don't, nobody knows how this is going to play out, but I don't see how Ripple doesn't win this case. I just don't see with the way this is going how they don't win the case. The only other thing I could potentially see happening is if the SEC just continues doing every single thing to drag this out, knowing they're not going to win the case, I could see a settlement happening at some point. But I don't know that Ripple ultimately at this point really would want to do that. They'd have to weigh a lot. But this whole court case is a big deal for the entire industry, because really what's going on is the SEC is really ruling by enforcement. That's really what they're doing. They're attempting to pick winners and losers. They're governing by enforcement, and it's a complete shit show and embarrassment. Speaking of shit show and embarrassment, we're going to change subjects. I just think this whole thing is ridiculous. Speaking of a shit show, the last piece of news that I wanted to share with you guys, and I know I've tweeted about this quite a bit. One of the great things about Twitter. Hey, for all new joining, please hit the thumbs up button and drop a comment. Let me know what you're having for happy hour. And having a super Tuscan wine from Cooper's Winery and Restaurant. It's very good. I would actually be very curious if anyone would be willing to drop a comment on this one. Please share your thoughts, and I will respond. This leaves me speechless. I don't understand how it serves to benefit the country, the nation. Let's just think about this logically for a second. How does it benefit the country if all of a sudden, this seems like a fantasy or dream world that this would actually happen. The person who is in power of the country comes in, steps in, and says, you know what? Everybody who's got loans, we're not gonna pay those. We're just gonna wipe those out. Now, I would argue that if college tuition in college has become too expensive, let's get at the root of the issue. Maybe if subsidized loans didn't exist for college students, that made it more affordable for students to get into expensive colleges, maybe the cost of school and tuition would come down, as one example. I don't know. I'm not an expert, and I'm not going to pretend to be one. But to all of a sudden just wipe out loans like this is so baffling. It's so irritating. It really speaks to where we're at as a culture, in my opinion, as a nation. This is clearly done, and this isn't a political endorsement. This is not me being Democratic or Republican. That's not what this is about. It's just about what's right and what's wrong. And unfortunately, what's going on is somebody here who falls asleep at his desk half the day is trying to win votes. That's really what he's trying to do. I'll use myself as an example. I have all of my life worked very hard. I've worked very, very hard to get to where I'm at today, okay? And part of that was going to school and taking out a loan and having a sum of money that when I got out of school, okay, I worked very hard for my degree. I had a job before I got out of college, okay? So I worked hard for that, though. And I had this lump sum of money I had to pay off. So year after year after year, I just kept making payments and payments and payments and payments. But I've been very disciplined financially that was never a burden for me. It was easy for me to pay off my student loans because I worked hard to be in a field that made good income, and I was financially disciplined with my money and didn't overspend. The problem here is that the way that the leader of this country is attacking the root issue is he's attempting to cater to all of the people that feel that it's unfair that college is as expensive as it is. You come out with a 4-year psychology degree, you don't know what you're doing with it, and you have $100,000 of debt. Whatever the case is, he's catering to those younger voters to try to win votes in the next election. That's all this is. And with the advent of social media and with the availability of the spread of knowledge and information, I would think that people would be more educated and wise up today to see through this. I mean, this to me is really sad. It pisses me off. It's great on social media. I can give some middle fingers to Joe Biden. That provides me half a second of pleasure. By the way, if you're new, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel. The thumbs up in the comments do help, by the way, as a content creator, believe me. But it's very disheartening. It's very disheartening for people who are responsible. And the other thing that came out of this, that I didn't pull up the article about this. This is on NPR, I think, yeah. The other thing that came out of this is, obviously, if we are abolishing loans, okay, if all of a sudden there's a debt jubilee and basically everyone's debt is erased, let me ask a rather intuitive question. What's paying for that? Like, how's the debt erased? You can't just erase money. Well, I guess you could. I mean, you can print it, so can't you just burn it? But really, how is that being erased? There was an article that spoke to the fact that on average, the taxpayer is going to be paying like $2,000. I don't know what it is. I'd have to pull it up. But basically, it's like anything else from the government. I mean, that's all they know how to do. We fix problems by taxing people, enslavement. I mean, the more you educate yourself, and this is why I consider myself a libertarian, the more you realize the government and those in charge justify taking certain actions by which they just tax you. That's all they do. It's just taxation. It's legalized theft. These people's loans are being stripped away such that the average American's going to be paying, thousands of dollars in taxes to account for this. It's not free. Like, it has to be paid for in some way. And it just disgusts me. It disgusts me. I know there are worse, I've never lived in another country. I'm not trying to say that I'm not proud to be an American citizen. I'm very proud to be an American citizen. But it's very disheartening when you've worked hard all of your life to get to where you're at today. And the more you educate yourself and make yourself self-aware of the things that are going on around you, and you're not exercising emotion, you're just trying to exercise logic to the situation, and you're saying there's no logic to this. There's no logic to all of a sudden some ass clown who's in charge of the country coming in and just abolishing loans like this and then having taxpayers pay for it. It makes no fucking sense. It makes no fucking sense to me, and I have to just let it go because it just makes me angry and it makes me cynical towards politics. I'm not cynical towards... I would say that personally, I'd be curious in the comments here. I'm going to get to the comments in a second, but... I would be curious here to see if anybody here is cynical about anything. I would say, despite all the hardships I personally have had in life, I am not cynical about anything besides politics. I think it's a just complete shit show. It's just a sad state of affairs. Let me get to the comments here. Connor, glad to see you join. Thank you for the positive feedback. I very much appreciate it. Brendan, I agree, brother. I think he'd fall asleep before he'd even grab the TV remote. Okay, so Jordan's comment. Let me read Jordan's comment here. So Jordan says, many with student loans are still pissed. I see friends on Facebook saying I've been on Facebook forever. I haven't been on there since... I think 2016. I got off there. A long story, but I got off a long time. What's up, Crypto Ryan? I I see friends on Facebook saying I started with $100,000 of loans, now have 150. Okay, that's your decision. 10,000 does nothing for many. So the funny thing about that is, it's really comical to me. Here's what I would say about that. We're all, like I say about my financial disclosure when I put out the TA videos, we're all big boys and big girls, right? There's a serious lack of accountability in this country. I've noticed it more and more and more that people really don't want to take ownership for their actions. They don't want to take ownership for their words, their actions. And this speaks to it. If you chose to go to a college and pursue a degree that had $100,000 or $150,000 of loans, that's your decision. You're going to have to pay that off. I always said to someone that I was once with, somebody who was once with, she went to school and she got a good degree and she came out making a solid amount of money. Let's keep it very even, right? Let's just say she made $100,000 a year after being a year out of school in total, right? So she has $100,000 that she's making in income, but she had over $100,000 of student debt. So based on her payment that she was making a month, I said, I know you're making $100,000, but based on your debt, you're really taking a 25 to 30% haircut. So you're really making $75,000 to $70,000 a year. It's still a decent income. It's still a decent for one person. At the time it was decent. It's decent, but that's what you have to factor in, and that's what you have to pay off. That's what you went to school. This is the way the system is set up. You went to school and knew what the costs were that you would incur. You got to pay that off with your job. Like, you have to earn that back. Like, that's just the way it is. And people just don't want to take accountability anymore. Part of me feels like an old person saying this, but I think it's the truth. I was having a conversation at the gym about this with someone the other day. We were on I was finishing up my workout, and I was on the elliptical just doing some static cardio just to finish up, and I must have had a 15-minute conversation with this guy, and what we were talking about was the fact that people who let themselves go, right? And I can't relate to how much of a struggle it must be to be 50 or 100 pounds overweight, right? You're morbidly obese, I think, it's not actually that much overweight, but let's just say let's keep it simple. You're 50 pounds more than you should be, right? I can't relate to how much of a struggle it must be to look in the mirror, realize it, and try to get yourself out of that. And I admire people who work hard to lose weight and get back. I have an extreme amount of admiration for that. But people don't want to hear the truth. People don't want to hear the truth that, yeah, you let yourself go. And you know what you're going to have to do to get yourself back in shape so that you're not having a heart attack at age 45? What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to eat healthy. You know what else you're going to need to do? You're going to need to have an active lifestyle. You're going to need to work out. Oh, you don't like to weight train? You don't like to run or walk? Well, fucking suck it up. If you want to eat donuts and be 100 pounds overweight for the rest of your life, then fucking die at age 50. If you want to live a healthy life, if you want to be 40 years of age or 50 years of age and feel 10 years younger and feel great and have more energy and be with your kids and be able to play with them and do fun things with your wife or significant other, then fucking lose some weight, because it'll change your mentality and your mental health as well. Like, take some goddamn ownership for it. But people don't want to do that. People don't want to do that. They don't want to hear the truth. It's the same damn thing with these student loans. People don't want to accept the fact that they're in debt. You're in debt. Fucking get yourself out of it. That's why you went to school. And I'm going on a rant, but I'm really passionate about this stuff. Like, I've brought him up a few times on this live stream, but at the end of my videos, I always say, spread awareness and carry the education forward. If you follow me on Instagram at CryptoBullGod, I have a hashtag in there or something in all my write-ups for the motivational stuff that I do gym-wise, carry it forward. The reason I have carry it forward in there with a K is my late best friend who was taken from this life way too early. His name was Carrie, and he and I used to have all these, it's very profound on me, very profound experience. He and I used to have all these conversations about accountability and how people just really lack it. You know, it takes a strong individual. It takes a strong person to accept that they've made mistakes in life or to accept fault in themselves and to grow from that. To really take a hard look in the mirror and say, you know what, I don't like this about myself, or I don't like how I've gotten here, and this is going to be difficult to get myself out of this situation, but I need to do it. You know, it's difficult to get out of school with $100,000 of student debt, but you know what? I'm going to work my ass off. I'm going to be financially disciplined, and I'm going to get myself out of this, you know, and I'm going to pay this thing off, and it's going to feel rewarding, and it's going to feel good. We want to give out participation trophies this day and age rather than giving out first, second, and third place and accept the fact that not everybody wins, right? This is just the way society is moving, and it's very sad to me. Like, it's very sad to me. Very sad. You know what? That's all I had for news stuff. I kind of wanted to cover some charts. Actually, you know what? I wanted to touch on something else. This is related to XRP since it has to do with the Flare airdrop. 5 minutes of empirical evidence. I'm so used to talking to actuaries that you know, I'm very technical, so sometimes I catch myself. I guess I sound very technical to the average person, but I don't think of it that way. So, this would be under tweets and replies. I had quite a few tweets out today. You know, some days I got a lot of tweets, some days I don't got a lot of tweets. You know, is what it is. So I did get a response on this, and let me share my thoughts. This is a shit show. I don't know enough to comment on this whole thing with BitBoy, but that whole thing's been a shit show. He's saving face right here. I mean, I don't need to know a lot about what's going on to know this whole thing. He's just trying to save face because he got a lot of negative backlash. All right, let's go to this. So this morning at 7:21 a.m., after my coffee had fully kicked in, I just tweeted out this. And it looks like somebody's moving the goalpost. And what I've done is I've been pretty consistent in tweeting out the fact that the Flare community, in specifically Hugo here, has done a piss poor job of communicating. Okay, you know, what once was every person who holds XRP and gets a snapshot is getting a 1-for-1. This has been modified. You got to stake it. You got to hold it for 3 years. Oh, but you're going to get more and blah 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 blah. That shit has changed. When the airdrop has taken place, has changed and changed and changed and changed and changed. And just the communication's been god-awful. It's been terrible. So you can see his response here. So let me just say this. He acknowledges he's moved the goalposts. Okay. I did comment. Where's it at here? So I did comment here that... where's his reply at? I don't see his reply. Did he delete it? I hope he didn't delete it. Where's it at? Oh, okay, good. So one of the things I said is that, you know, and this is the truth. It's a lot easier to speak to something from the outside looking in and provide constructive feedback versus being in the situation. So I really want to be 100% with this. I don't know what it's like to be in his position. I'm sure maybe it's a very stressful position. There's a lot of things he's learning on the fly. To his defense, really to his defense. And maybe it's a challenging position being in such a new space, right? New niche. He's helping to launch a new project here. It's an airdrop. There's a lot maybe to learn on the fly, right? So I do want to sympathize with him in that way, in all seriousness. But I said, I'll never pretend to know what it's like in your position. But there is one thing I can say as a business professional, though, who prides himself on very good communication in his personal life as well as business life. And that is that his communication has been piss poor. The whole communication has been piss poor. One thing I will say, is that he acknowledged it, which I did appreciate. He didn't he wasn't defensive about it. He didn't, deny it and block me. That would have been very childish. He could have chosen to do that. It would have been a very, very, very bad look for the Flare community and for the project. By the way, for all those new joining, this is a Super Tuscan from Cooper's Hawk Winery and Restaurant. Has anyone been there? I would be very curious. But it's a very tasty red wine. So to his to his credit, he doesn't get defensive and he acknowledges it. And he said they're trying to do better. I liked his tweet and I left it at that. What I will say is this. This airdrop, okay, I'm just sensing the community here. There are maximalists who, the Flare community could take an entire shit on the community and not do an airdrop until 2030. And there are maximalists who will just blindly follow, okay? Those people are delusional and they're out there, right? But sensing the overall sentiment in the market, okay, I'm not alone with how I feel. The fact that this airdrop has taken as long as it has and it's changed as much as it has, it's really damaged the reputation of this project. Like, for me personally, I'll speak for myself, and I don't think I'm alone with this. This airdrop needs to go flawlessly, and it needs to pay off handsomely. And the project needs to do really well to regain and retain the support of the community. Like, this really has been a shit show so far. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I have not read I've glanced over the paper that was sent out about the proposition that needs to be voted on in terms of the distribution for the Flare tokens and how all that's going to work. I did breeze through it. I need to take a more extensive look this weekend. Maybe that could be a follow-up. Maybe we could kind of discuss that next week and I can kind of share my thoughts. It gets very technical from what I saw, but I'm very technical as well. So I'll be able to put it in layman's terms for you. This airdrop needs to go flawlessly, in my opinion, to restore and retain the confidence of the community, because it's been a rough going so far. So I think that's all I had. By the way, as I'm getting in the charts here, does anybody else have any thoughts? Anything else for the Flare airdrop? Because I really do think it's been a shit show so far. I also don't think that everybody has chimed in on what they're having for happy hour. You know, this is one of the basic premises of this live stream. I'm going over charts. I'm going over some news. I'm bullshitting about X, Y, and Z. And we're supposed to be having a virtual happy hour. And yet I don't see anybody saying jack about happy hour. Frankie Legend. Oh, boy. This is completely coincidental. You're asking me about a Ben Stiller movie, perhaps because I look like Ben Stiller, like I've been told. Not the most flattering comparison. I don't think he's a good-looking guy, but when you've been told that all your life, I guess you just got to go with it, right? So, what is my favorite Ben Stiller movie? Oh, I got to say, one is coming to mind. Let me just make sure that's it. Okay, there's a couple that I'm thinking of. I like Dodgeball. Dodgeball was hilarious. I gotta say Meet the Fockers. I mean, Meet the Fockers. I gotta say that was probably my favorite. So, you should see me with my hair if I wear like a turtleneck, you know. I don't wear a turtleneck in South Florida, right? But yeah, I definitely look like Ben Stiller. All right, so let's kind of touch on a few charts here. The voice even. The voice, I sound like Ben Stiller in The Voice. Maybe I should meet this guy at some point and let him attest if I look like him and sound like him. I don't think I sound like Ben Stiller. That's a first. So you think I sound like Ben Stiller, but I don't see a resemblance. That's interesting because now I've gotten the voice and the resemblance, so that's interesting. Jordan, thank you. Thank you for sharing what you're having to drink. It's part of the point of a happy hour, right? This just isn't any live stream. It's called a happy hour for a reason. Maybe I need to spell out HH as happy hour. Some people just don't get it. Bell's Oktoberfest. You know, one of the things I wish we could do on this live stream, maybe YouTube will enable at some point. One of the things I really like about Twitter and their spaces is that you can hand the microphone off to people. Now, I could mute you if you're going to be like a troll, but if you're being silly. But I like that you can hand a microphone off. Like I was on the Harmony, talk yesterday, and I had the opportunity to speak, and I've done that a few times. But I wish that on these live streams, and I hope YouTube institutes this. I wish I could just like go here and be like, yo, Frankie, go ahead and like send me a picture and go ahead and speak to this beer because I'm not familiar with it. But I can't do that. Like I would hand the mic over to you and allow you to speak if you wanted to. But that would make it a lot more interactive. It'd be a lot more fun. But unfortunately, they don't do that right now. I would be all for that, actually. But I'm not familiar with that name brand, so I'd be curious. I'll have to Google it afterwards. Cappuccino for Crypto Ryan, because it's... is it Australia? Is that right? You're in Australia? Crypto Ryan. No. That's Brendan who's in Australia. What the hell? Crypto Ryan, where are you from? You're having a cappuccino. Where are you from, brother? Corona Premier. Interesting. Okay, Frankie. I'm entering along for happy hour. Nice. I'm long and strong all the way in every single thing I'm in. So, Crypto Bull God knows no other way. Why would the Crypto Bull God be short? I'm short on nothing. I'm long and strong, brother. It's a Mexican import. Interesting. I'll look it up. England. You're from England. Yeah, I got a lot of people here. This is really interesting. I got a lot of people from different countries. We got Australia. We got England. And we got... Where the hell else were we from? Ireland? Did someone... Dublin. Connor was from Dublin? Wow, unless everybody's trolling me or bullshitting me, we got a lot of people from a lot of different countries. I wouldn't have suspected that. Hey, for everybody new joining, please hit the thumbs up button. Very much appreciated. Drop a comment. Let me know what you're having for happy hour. We're having a Super Tuscan wine. Hey, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into some charts. No, wait, hold on a second. We got a disagreement here. It's a Mexican... Oh, no, wait. No, Mexican import. Frankie... No, wait. I'm confusing beers. Okay, Corona Premier is a Mexican import. Bell's is out of Michigan. It's everywhere in the Midwest. Yeah, I haven't heard of that. I just know... So as far as Oktoberfest, I'm just familiar with Sam Adams, which is... I mean, everybody knows Sam Adams, right? That's from Boston. So, all right, let's get into some charts. I just tweet... Actually, I want to jump to this. If you're getting tired, if you've been following this channel for a while and you're tired of me covering the same charts all the time, I'm actually happy about that. I'm happy about it. It's like a teacher. It's like a, it's one of those things that I was real passionate about when I was choosing my careers. It's like, do I want to be an actuary or do I want to be a professor at a university teaching like high-level statistics and calculus classes? I like calculus more than statistics, actually. Big fan of calculus 2 and integrals. But anyway, not a big fan of Calculus 3 and like vector spaces. I wasn't big on geometry, like all that spatial shit. I just want the hard mathematical formulas. But anyway, I love teaching. And so one of the things that I can appreciate as a teacher, because I've done a lot of tutoring back in the day, is you really as a teacher want to hit home on the key points. And if your students are getting tired of hearing the same thing, what that also should imply is, number one, you've been hitting hard on something that is critical. And number two, if they're sick of hearing the same thing, hopefully it should resonate with them and they have a firm understanding of it. It's very important that you have a firm understanding of this Bitcoin dominance chart. There are not enough people talking about the Bitcoin dominance chart. What have I done on this channel? Let me take these little house slippers off. All right, I just shrunk a half an inch. What I've done on this channel, instead of focusing all on these USD values, okay? Everybody, hyper-focused on, this is Bitcoin 12-hour, like, well, what's the USD value doing? Okay, let's look at the dominance chart. Let's ask ourselves what we can discern from that based on a historical context in the past. Let's look at relativity charts. These are the things I've been hitting home on forever on this channel, and the DXY, the dollar, okay? So I've been speaking a lot to the dollar index. I've been speaking a lot to the Bitcoin dominance. I've been speaking a lot to the relativity charts to Bitcoin. This dominance chart and what I just tweeted out today and what I keep hitting home on because no one's talking about this, and I understand. I have 11,000 people that follow me on Twitter. I have 1,900 people that follow me on YouTube. I do not have a large following, so I understand what I'm sharing is not catching a lot of gravity or breadth within the space. All right, I understand that. I'm trying my best, but as long as you're retaining it and understanding it, that's all that matters. This is an area of support that we've hit 3 times, and in particular in this area back here in December 21 going into 22 in January, we hit it multiple times. You know that every single time an area of support continues to get hit, it weakens, okay? It's good. It's good. If an area of support is hit, maybe it's back tested and continues up, but now we've hit it multiple times. We've hit it multiple times. Nothing is definitive. I'm not going to tell you ever with 100% certainty that something's going to happen, but look at this candlestick. Let me clean this up a bit because it's a little dirty. It's a little dirty here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this candlestick right here, okay? This is a weekly view. Look at this. You see this? Am I circling this enough? Can you see it? All right. Look at that candlestick. Does it not look like it's about to come down and touch here within the next week or two? Like we're coming down, ladies and gentlemen. It looks extremely probabilistic, okay, that we're going to come down and hit this area. Okay, we've already broken this midline that I've spoken to in these gray lines here, okay? We've broken it. We're going to come down here more than likely. I feel... Let me give you a number because I'm an actuary and I appreciate numbers, okay? I do this with everything. I need numbers with everything. What do I think the probability is that we're going to tap this region in here between 40% and 39.4%? What do I think the probability is we're going to tap between 40 and 39.4? I think the probability is looking like 95%. I feel 95 motherfucking% confident that we're going to test this area. Now that we're retesting it for the 4th different time in history, what is most likely going to happen? Well, most likely it's going to break. And what happens when it breaks? Well, there's no support. There's literally no support after here until this region right here, which is our prior all-time low, from all the way back here in 2017 and 18, okay? So now we're retesting all-time lows in dominance. And now it's just a matter of time, in my opinion, once this area breaks, we're going to back test this, we get a little relief rally, and we are going to break to new all-time lows. These are the things that no one's talking about. I think Credible Crypto, whose work that I very much appreciate and respect, he was a very early follow for me when I got on Twitter. He follows me as well, which I really appreciate and respect. That means a lot to me. I appreciate his work. He just put out a video yesterday I have not had an opportunity to watch yet, but I will because, like yourself, I value data points. People's whose work I respect, whether I agree or disagree with their analysis, I'm gonna weigh it into my own individual analysis in discerning what I think is most and least likely moving forward. And his work I very much appreciate. He put out a video where he said he was talking about much of the same things I've been talking about. He's going to be talking about Bitcoin dominance, so I'll be interested to hear what his thoughts are. And he's going to be talking about Ethereum relativity strength to Bitcoin, all the things I've been talking about as well. So I'll be very interested to hear his analysis. But again, look, it's just, this is just empirical data. It's factual information. I'm not giving you my opinion. This is a straight drop down, okay? In technical analysis, this is a pole. This is a flag or descending triangle. It's a bear flag. We invalidated it here temporarily, but we re-entered it. This commonly happens. If this pattern plays out, statistically, it's more likely that this pattern plays out. We're going to go, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't seen the video, it's out there. It's go to my channel and watch Bitcoin and crypto set to shock in Capital Worlds, like the Shockmaster back in WCW. Hey, old school reference. Anybody know the Shockmaster? Drop a comment. You're going to get big bonus points. I don't know what the hell I'll give you. Maybe I'll send you 1 XRP. No, I'm not going to start doing that. I'm not one of those people. Drop me a comment if you know who the Shockmaster is, okay? But anyway, if you go to my channel, this video was published on August 5th of 2022. Bitcoin and crypto is set to shock the world, okay? And what I talk about is this technical target being around 22.5%. Okay, so if the technical target plays out, we're going Bitcoin dominance all the way down to 22.5%, meaning at some point, altcoins will dominate 77.5% of the market share. That's a massive altcoin run, ladies and gentlemen. Massive, massive, massive altcoin run. Let's get off this Bitcoin dominance chart. Let's get to the comments, and then let's get back to the charts. Thank you for everyone new joining. Please hit the thumbs up button, drop a comment, let me know what you're having for happy hour if you're having a super Tuscan wine like myself. And subscribe to the channel if you're not, because I'm going to be doing a lot more of these live streams. I mean, I don't know what else to do with my time. I live in sunny, south, beautiful Florida, and there's nothing better I can think of than to do when it's, I mean, it is just gorgeous weather outside. There's nothing better I can think of what to do than to do a live stream. This is just, I mean, it makes total sense, right? Hey, by the way, if you're a regular here, I have not seen your name drop below. I know there's a few regulars I'm not seeing at the moment. And if you're new, I would appreciate just introducing yourself and just dropping a comment. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I just spoke to that Crypto Ryan. And I haven't seen anyone else with that thesis he has going on. Well, I'll be very curious, Crypto Ryan, to see what his thesis is, because without watching the video, what he's described in his tweet sounds exactly like what I was saying. So I don't know that he was. It sounds like on the surface, without watching the video, what he was saying sounds very similar to what I was saying. But I'll be curious. Maybe he's not saying anything about what I'm talking about here, but it's been what I've been talking about for a while now. Not sure what you mean about bearish retest of the upper line. Frankie, explain yourself, because I want to respond to your question. I just don't know what you mean. What happened the last time we tested these lows pre-bull run? So I spoke to that. Go watch the video I referred to. I'm not trying to avoid your question. It's just I answer that in the video. So go back and watch the video, because I answer all that stuff. So, Brendan, I'll be curious how the DXY plays out, because it might put in a double top. It might create new all-time highs. It's really anybody's educated guess on what could happen. I have so many damn DXY charts. I don't know which one. I always get confused. This really pisses me off. Hold on. I don't want to waste time. Let me pull up the right DXY chart. Okay, here we go. So this is a 2-month view on the DXY. Yeah, so, I mean, there's one thing that is certain. While nobody knows where the DXY is going to top, okay, there are two things. There are two things certain about this chart, okay? Certainty number one, historical context says that when the DXY falls, there's a massive run in cryptocurrencies and a bullish run or a large run in equities, okay? You can't debate that. That is a historical fact. I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm giving you a historical fact based on empirical data. Fact number two. Okay, fact number two is, keep in mind these are 2-month candlesticks. We have never had this many consistent, not consistent, what's the word I'm looking for? Man, brain fart. I forget the word I'm looking for. We have not had this many, not consistent, but this many green candlesticks in a row without a red candlestick. What is this? I mean, look at this motherfucker. Look at this. Whoop. What is this? This is a parabola. Look at this thing. It is just fucking moving up. And just like Bitcoin and just like cryptocurrencies or any other asset that creates a parabola like this, I've spoken to this in prior live streams. I've spoken to this in prior TA videos. I've given you the example that when I've given you the example of a tree. When you create higher highs and higher lows like this, like stair steps up, yes, it doesn't move as quickly up, but it's better from it's more appealing from a technical perspective because you can draw areas of confluence, excuse me. Let me draw this right. Areas of confluence, where there should be support, right? It's a tree with tree branches. If we fall, we have a branch to catch onto, a branch to catch onto, a branch to catch onto. If we have a parabola straight up and we fall, there's no branches. There's nothing here. So you're going to have a straight plummet down. Now, the good news for us, if you're bullish on crypto, if you're not bullish on crypto, get the fuck out of this live stream. I don't want you here. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm kind of half serious about that. But if you're not bullish on crypto, I don't know why you're here. But if you're bullish on crypto, it's great to see that there's a parabola taking place right now. Even if it's painful in the short term, when this thing falls, when the DXY falls, wherever it tops at, when it falls, it's going to fucking fall hard. And it's going to set up for a massive run in cryptocurrencies and equities. It's anyone's educated guess when that will happen. I have been on the record. If you go back to Twitter, okay, and I'm actually going to put out a very brief video. I'm going to try and do this tomorrow. Look for a new quick video coming out tomorrow. I've been on record July 7th basically saying that most likely the bottom was in. I've since come out in early August and said, yeah, I feel that much more convicted the bottom is in. I feel extremely convicted the bottom is in. I mean, there are too many charts and data science models. Watch the video tomorrow because I'm going to point these out. I'm going to go through about 20 different data points, okay? I'm not exaggerating. I don't know how many there are, maybe 20, 15, 20. That point to the fact that it is most likely the bottom is in. And if you're not buying in at these levels, I just think that you're gonna look back on this a year, 2, 3, 4 years from now, and you're gonna find that you sat on your hands during an epic generational buying opportunity. When this DXY, when this dollar index falls, there's going to be a massive run in cryptocurrencies. No one is going to sound the sirens and say, DXY is falling, get ready to buy the shit out of cryptocurrency and stocks because they're going to run. No one's going to sound the alarms. It's up to you to do your own due diligence. It's up to you to do your own due diligence and educate yourself to feel convicted at levels you should be buying at to set yourself up for that opportunity. It's not about catching a falling knife. For the love of God, it's not about calling an absolute bottom and going all in on the bottom. It's about scaling in at opportune times that present a massive buying opportunity. And that's what I've been trying to share with everyone. But it falls on a lot of people's deaf ears because what they do is there was a guy, I'm not going to give him any notoriety. I'm not going to call out who it was. But you have ass clowns on Twitter who have 100,000 followers, and some of these people, God, this guy has paid services apparently. Some bullshit crypto academy class. I don't know. I didn't look into it, but he tweets a chart, and he has an arrow that goes down and says, "I have bad news, but most of the data is pointing to the fact that this is going to happen." He provides no empirical evidence as to why what charts are you looking at? He provides no evidence why most likely it's pointing down. His arrow down, there was no technical pattern. There was no technical pattern that led to the conviction that there would be a move down. It was literally just showing a chart and showing an arrow down and then saying, yeah, I got bad news, but, I hate to be go against the crowd here, but, more than likely we have a lot more downside. The easiest thing someone can do right now is put out bearish tweets. If you want to gain notoriety, if you want to gain a following, the easiest thing is to feed into the emotion of the market. The emotion of the market is so blah. The emotion of the market is so salty. The emotion of the market is so negative. I refuse, based on my past experience, to make my investment decisions based on emotions. It has fucking burned me in the past, okay? I've made plenty of mistakes. I refuse to do that now. What I will do is I will read this chart, 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 and I will make investment decisions based on that. That is what I will do, okay? Remove the emotion. I'm not looking to feed into the herd mentality, basically. I am looking to make sound investment decisions based on spending countless hours researching the market and charting on my own individual analysis without anyone else's help, without anyone else's opinion, and then seeking out the opinion of other people and who I respect, even if I disagree with them, and factor that into my individual analysis to come up with my conclusions. That's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. And based on that information, that's what I'm going to share with you. That's what you can always count on from my channel and from my content, no matter how much corny humor there is. No matter if I dress up as the Macho Man Randy Savage and I fucking knock trash cans all over the plate and have World Wrestling Federation title belts aside of me, all humor aside, however corny I am, I'm always going to logically evaluate the markets based on my own personal expertise, knowledge, and experience. And that is what I'm going to share with you. Nothing else. Nothing else. Okay? And believe me, when I really feel like we're entering a massive bear market, when I think things are just going to correct for a very long time, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to edit my profile, and I've said this before, I'm just going to go like this. Okay? We're going to put this all in lowercase letters, okay? We're not there right now. We're not there, in my opinion. We have had an expanding flat correction, I've said this before, within an Elliott wave structure, and we're still awaiting a fifth wave. That is still what we're waiting for. And I fully expect new all-time highs in 2023. That is where I stand today. And it's not emotion. It's not where I want things to be. I'm not sharing with you some dream and some hope because things didn't top out when I expected them at the end of last year, beginning of this year. It didn't happen the way I expected. So now I'm backstepping and saying, well, it's going to happen. No. Take a step back, evaluate the data. Okay, I made mistakes. I'm going to be wrong. I'm going to be wrong. I'm going to be right. But let's self-evaluate where we're at. Let's learn from it. And let's ask the question, what most likely is next? If I really felt what most likely is next is we're entering this massive recession and fucking things are going down, stock market's going to hell, believe me, I would be out there in front of it saying, look, I'm taking most of my money out of the market. Like, I'm out. Like, I've done well for myself. I don't see, based on what I'm looking at, I think there's a lot of risk to the downside. I think we're going to be in an extended bear market. I'm out. I am not there. I've not sold a single damn thing. Okay? That's where I'm at. Let's see where we're at with the comments. We got a few comments here. There's a few people here that I'm very happy to see. All right, Brent, Crypto Ryan, I will check out the video and I'll reserve comment. But again, Credible Crypto, his analysis I very much appreciate, and he's very logical. I've given him a lot of credit because I think that he puts together a very thorough analysis, explains himself well, and if market conditions change, he owns up to it and he reevaluates the situation. And he's just a straightforward guy. He's one of those people like you. It's interesting because Twitter is sort of like a community, right? And still haven't gotten that new water bottle. Twitter really is a community, and there's some people who I've met on Twitter who I've interacted with that I really would like to meet in person. And he is someone who actually I think would be really cool to like have a drink with and go out with and meet. So hopefully, I've thrown it out to him actually. Hopefully at some point in South Florida or God knows where I'll be at. I've shared with you I don't see myself in South Florida a year from now. We'll have to see about that. But wherever in Florida or wherever I can meet up with him, it would be really cool to meet up with him. Brendan, sounds like you're on the same page with me. People are laughing at me probably because I was going off there for a while. I know I can do that. Yeah, Brendan, sorry I lost you on the comment. I'm not sure what you're saying there. Did he answer? I'm not sure. Dress up as Johnny Bravo. That's an old school cartoon. I used to watch Dexter's Laboratory. That was a really good cartoon. I like Dexter's Laboratory. Now the cartoon that I don't like to admit that I watched, but I don't really give a shit because when you're comfortable with yourself, you're comfortable with yourself. You have no shame. I used to watch the Powerpuff Girls. I know it was a good cartoon. Who is Mojo Jojo? Mojo Jojo. That was a good cartoon. That was way back in the day. I won't say how old I was when I watched that. That was way back. Kayleen, good to see you're back. I have not seen you in a bit. It's very nice to see you back. I have had it. It's a very good wine. You've had this wine? Really? You've had this Cooper's Hawk wine? Oh, that's very nice to hear. Perhaps someday we can share a glass together. I certainly hope so. Maybe someday. Anybody else been to Cooper's Hawk? It's a really nice restaurant. I haven't been there in a while. Actually, I'm part of the club there. You can sign up for a club. Don't have the card. I don't have the card for it. But I am a member, and you actually get a free bottle a month. So I'm going to have to go there. I think I'm owed a bottle from like July and August. I'll have to settle up on that. But this bottle's been sitting there for a while. I've had this since around May, I want to say. I think I got this in May. It's been sitting there for a while, so I'm glad I had an opportunity to open it up. John, it's really good to see you back. Thank you for joining the live stream. I appreciate the support. You're one of the people who comes in here very consistently. You're about to hit the road. You're going to catch the replay. Powerpuff Girls was underrated. Yes, sir. I think we're in the same demographic. Yes, sir. That was underrated. That was a damn good show. This motivation... oh, shit. I'm making people make financial decisions. That's not what I want to do. This motivational speech made me buy 5,000 H-bar. Cheers, CBG. Let me just say... Let me just say this about H-bar real quick. On a serious note. So, if you're holding H-bar, which I don't know why you wouldn't be, the Holy Crypto Trinity, H-bar, Harmony 1, and Mana, 3 very strong projects. H-bar is a very good long-term hold, in my opinion. A very, very good long-term hold. Not going into detail, but I'm cautiously optimistic that I'm going to have some more funds available to me in the course of the next 4 weeks or so. And based upon that, I never like to disclose specific positions in terms of size or anything like that. I don't mind indicating projects I'm invested in, but I feel pretty good that I might be in possession of some substantial fiat over the next couple weeks here. So if that does play out, I've been thinking about how I wanted to invest those funds. And I can tell you hands down that a very sizable portion is going to be invested in H-bar. H-bar, I own a lot of H-bar. I own a significant amount, but I still feel like I could own a lot more. And why do I feel like I could own a lot more? Because this is sitting at, we are under 7 cents. You could buy 100,000 H-bar for $6,700. It's one of those projects where, based on the hash graph technology, it not being blockchain, based on all the innovations associated with it, partnerships, based on the unique governing, there's just so many facets of it that I feel extremely bullish about the project. And we'll have to see where this thing goes with the rest of the market next year. But like I said, I'm very hopeful that I will have some more fiat at my disposal for investment purposes. And I would say, if not the majority, a large portion is going to be just stowed away in HBAR because I think it's a very good long-term hold. So you're my financial advisor. Well, that's not good. I shouldn't be your financial advisor. You got to pay someone for that. Just because I'm a financially disciplined individual and well-versed in crypto does not make me a financial advisor. But I know I appreciate the confidence, though. Ed, and Eddie. I always saw that advertised, but I've never watched it. Courage the Cowardly Dog. Same thing. I've never watched it. I used to be a huge cartoon person, like way back in the day. I used to watch a lot of cartoons. I don't think you're too old for that. I've had a little bit more time to myself and have been enjoying a break in not having like a fast-paced environment that was hanging for a couple of weeks. I shared with you guys there was just a lot going on, and so I've had a little bit more time to myself, and I've just been enjoying vegging a little bit at the end of the evening. So I have tuned into like random anime cartoons on Netflix. But I used to be a huge cartoon person way back in the day. I'll still watch cartoons. One quick cartoon. One quick cartoon I'll throw out there that I appreciate more as an adult now than I did as a child when I was growing up. G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe, I went through the entire season not too long ago. It wasn't that long ago. G.I. Joe, the original 80s cartoon. I actually appreciate more as an adult that cartoon for some reason than I did as a kid. So really interesting to go back and watch some of those things. Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack is another solid cartoon. I have all the DVDs, all the seasons on DVD. That cartoon was phenomenal. Me and my childhood best friend who I grew up with used to talk about that all the time. Kayleen, what wine are you enjoying? Is it a red Chianti? So I'd be curious to know. You do have a red symbol here, so maybe you're having a red Chianti. Thank you for everyone new tuning in. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, no, crypto Ryan. I agree with you, Ryan. Well, here's the thing, and I've seen people try to project out prices differently. So let's take a moment to kind of speak to what Ryan's speaking to here. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with trend-based fib extensions, but as an example, if we assume that this is an A, B, C correction, then really the top of our wave movement was here, right? So if we measure a trend-based fib extension from the bottom here of this wave movement up here to the bottom of our wave movement, approximately here, you can see, and typically based on this, what we can see in the past is a lot of these projects like to top out anywhere between the 2.618 and all the way up to 4 or even beyond. You can see this extends us $1.21 to around 210. Okay, not saying it can't go above there. You have 100,000 H-bar. Let's just take the top here and say 210. You have 100,000 H-bar and you sell anywhere near $2. You're talking about $200,000. I mean, that just puts it in USD terms. Now, the other interesting thing, and this is why I'm not an expert in using projections like this, I'd be really interested to know the appropriate way to do this, because the other thing that I've seen people do, and I can't speak to what makes the most sense, you take the top here, the very top of our movement here, even though this is an ABC correction, you measure a you measure a fib retracement down. This isn't a trend. This is a not a trend-based fib extension, but a fib retracement. If you measure down and you look at these extensions, people often look at the 1.272, the 1.414, and the 1.618. I don't know. I would be really curious to speak to an expert. I don't know how to identify one who could speak to what the best ways are to measure extensions out like this and what the pros and cons are and what the likelihood is, because I don't know the answer to that question. But this still puts us in the $2 range, anywhere between $1.19 and $2.90. Based on the performance of H-bar this year, I have to put out an update to I had to put it out an update to the Holy Crypto Trinity video. I could see something for H-bar getting close to $3, maybe not hitting $3, but, in that mid, in that 220 to 280 range. But I'll have to kind of get some more, hard numbers together that I feel confident in, because I have a list here, actually. I have a list here of a few videos that I want to put together. So I'll share that with you real quick. So the list that I have together for some future TA videos, one is 3 steps to turn the bull market around. Okay, I've already put that video out. That's my most recent. One is on OG coins, okay, or old school coins. The other is a Holy Crypto Trinity update. And the other one that I have written down here are altcoin deep dives. So basically taking an altcoin, let's take Harmony 1 since it's open, and basically doing a deep dive. Let's go to the 4-hour. Let's talk about the 4-hour and what we see going on. Let's go to a higher time frame. Let's go to the the 1 day. Let's go to the 3 day. Let's go to the 1 week. And then let's maybe go to a 1 month based on how much data is available. So I'm also thinking about doing some altcoin deep dives. I'd be really curious to hear what everyone's thoughts are on that. By the way, Kayleen, you haven't answered if you've had a red Chianti. I'd be very curious. Let's see what else we got here. Family Guy was a very good show. American Dad I never got into. Just time permitting, just busy with other things. But Family Guy was a very funny show. Purple zone is the sweet spot, as far as I know. Let me see what you mean by that. You mean the 1.272? Or let me see, were you talking to the trend-based fib extension? 3.618. I'd be curious what you mean by that. The purple zone is the sweet spot, as far as I know. Other charts that I can go over. Honestly, there's 2 other charts I'd really hit on, and then I'll see. If anybody has any questions, we'll do the TA Q&A. If anybody has any technical analysis questions, please feel free to drop that in the comments, because I only have 2 charts to cover, and then we're going to call it a day. I need to eat at some point. I have some. What's everyone having for dinner? I'm having salmon, and I've been actually eating less frequent meals. Okay, I used to do the small meal thing where I eat every few hours. Not doing that as much anymore. Trying to stay away from picking too. I had a bad habit of picking on stuff, but I'm not doing that. But less meals. But then like at night, I'm trying to eat earlier. Generally, I would eat dinner around like 6 o'clock. And that would be my last meal for the entire day before the morning. But my dinner is larger because I'm not eating for many hours before that. So I am having salmon, one piece of salmon, 1 piece of mahi-mahi, and then vegetable. I don't know what I'm having, broccoli or just making a salad. I'm not really sure. So let's get into the total cryptocurrency market cap. I had tweeted this out earlier today. I had also, if you follow me on Instagram at CryptoBullGod, every now and then I throw in some crypto stuff. You can read my tweet here, but this is essentially what happens when you have the capability to zoom out on a chart. Okay, when you look at this, what concerns you? Like really, drop a comment here. Is there anything that concerns you about this? Anything? I don't know. I don't see anything. What happens is these candlesticks are 3 months, right? Meaning this candlestick here is April, May, and June. This is July, August, and September, which hasn't played out fully yet, right? So what happens is people get salty all the way down here. This is actually a lot of price data. We're going from 3 trillion all the way down to under $1 trillion. Okay? There's a lot of money. There's a lot of devaluation going in within crypto. Okay? So if you just zoom in, if you do this, it's like, holy hell, we dropped from 3, wow, I didn't even realize we were that high until I looked. 3 trillion to like 700 billion. all right? It's pretty rough, right? But then what happens is you zoom out and you're like, oh, wow, look at that. We have a trend line we're following and we're just fucking zigzagging up. That's all we're doing. I mean, the trend line hasn't broken. So it just takes a macro perspective to appreciate the fact that there's nothing concerning about this chart. That's what I would point out. This is total cryptocurrency market cap. The last chart I wanted to look at is the 12-hour. Now, if you follow the video that I just put out about the 3 simple steps to feel convicted that the bull market is back within crypto, the 12-hour chart is the first chart that you need to check off the box, right? And there's kind of 3 things you need to watch for. So what was not good to see, we're zigzagging in here, right? This is not unexpected. These are 2 moving averages since we broke below. This is going to create resistance right here. We got above it, so we have some temporary resistance. So we're just chopping around in here. It's not surprising to see that happen. Now, what wasn't good is we broke down. We need to get up here. We need to get back up in this area. We cannot stay down here. The more we stay down here and the more we continue going down, these moving averages are just going to continue going down. That is not good to see. I do not want to see that. I do not want to see a breakdown back to 17,000 or creating new lows of 16,000 or going down to 18,000. I don't want to see that. What I need to see on this 12-hour chart is we need to get back in between this area and break above the 200 simple moving average. Now, what will happen is, to explain this in layman's terms, because moving averages are simply just that, they're an average of price over time. As the more recent price action begins to break up, these moving averages are going to move up. Okay, they're going to increase in value because the price is increasing in value. So we need price to sustain up here. Okay, maybe I can do this like last time, right? So we need price to sustain up there because what's going to happen is we're going to get our golden cross and we're going to get the moving averages to continue curling up. Okay, so that's what I would watch for in the 12-hour, just to reiterate what I had put out on the video. Now, with that being said, this is all I had for the TA. So this is the segment of the happy hour. Wow, I've gone through a decent amount of this wine. I'm going to have to cut myself off. Last call. I'm pouring myself like partial glasses here. That's really what I'm doing. So as you can see, that's not, I'm trying to pour myself like a partial glass here. So this is last call. Actually, maybe that's what I should call it. Last call. Wow, that just came to me. Last call. This is the Q&A. Last call. Does anybody have any technical analysis questions? Any charts to go over? Anything at all? Anything cryptocurrency related? I'll even look at the Dow Jones if you want me to. Any questions at all? If not, I'm going to be taking off. Let me see what we got here. I'll check that out, Crypto Ryan. Thank you for letting me know. It's honestly, it's just to let you know, I sincerely appreciate all of the interactions I get, all the support I get. Sometimes it's hard just to keep up with stuff because I do have a full-time job, and like I've said before, it's scary, but I actually manage people. So. Yeah, Brendan, I think a double bottom is very possible. It's very possible, but the question I would really focus on is, and this is going to be in my video tomorrow, I think the thing to focus on is not getting so hyper-focused on if the bottom is in, but does the empirical data provide you evidence that it is most likely that this is a generational buying opportunity for an investor? That's really the question you should ask yourself. So many people are hyper-focused. I will say this with actually 100% conviction. The people that are hyper-focused on catching the absolute bottom will lose out. And they'll either learn from it and do differently moving forward and DCA in at smart levels, or they'll just be the average person, part of the herd, and just continue doing the same mistakes they've always done. I mean, you either learn from your mistakes or not. No one's going to catch the absolute top or bottom. It's just a fact. I mean, you're being ignorant if you think otherwise. Just leave it at that. All right, so we will do one chart here. Brendan has a question on ACH. Well, Brendan, I have a few comments on ACH. I'm glad you brought this up because this thing has been, well, you know what? I'll just pull up the chart. Let's just look at the price data. I haven't looked at this thing forever. ACH has been doing pretty shitty. Let's, yeah, that did not pan out. You know, you have good calls and bad calls, right? That did not pan out. We had I wouldn't even call it I mean, honestly, I'd struggle to say this is a falling wedge. I wouldn't say this is a falling wedge. We had a falling channel here. And what I would say, well, actually, yeah. I guess it was a falling wedge until we broke there. So we sort of had a falling wedge, okay? This is ACH. We sort of had this falling wedge, and then we broke below. So what will happen is, and you can, actually, this is back-tested perfect here. This is going to create an area of resistance now that we've broken below. I'm going to keep it 100 with you, Brendan. I am ready for the trip. Brendan, I'm going to keep it 100 with you like I always do. This is a fucking ugly chart. Okay? Is that honest enough for you? This is a fucking ugly chart. And if I were an investor in this, I'd be dissatisfied. Be dissatisfied to say the least. Boy, what other downward channels can I create here? I see this one. Yeah, this, I understand it's only 1.4 pennies for one ACH, but until this thing shows me some strength, I have absolutely no interest in putting anything in here except for a short-term trade. Now, if I see a trade set up for the short term and I see some bullish divergence somewhere, let's look at a 3-day. Okay, there is actually a bit of bullish divergence. All right. So you could get a decent bounce here in the short term. You see this? I want to point this out to you. In the short term, if I look at the 3-day, you see how the RSI is increasing here? And the price action has pretty much gone down. Now, it has increased here. It increased here, but for the most part, it's gone down, but the RSI has been increasing. There is some bullish divergence playing out. I bet you if I went to the smaller time frames, I'd see it even more. Actually, now I got to see. If I went to the 2-day, yeah, you can see it even more there. So there is some bullish divergence. What I would say is this. My honest assessment of this chart is if I was looking to get into this, I would play it for a short-term swing play if I felt there was a quick buck to be made and I wanted to trade it. I would not look at this as an investment opportunity until we start to clear this main area around 6.8 cents. Now, I want you to understand that when we do enter true euphoria next year, in my opinion, it's going to happen next year, and you see everything running, there's a common expression that a rising tide lifts all boats. Even if this thing has been a shitty investment, okay, this is horrible. Even if this thing has been in a constant downtrend, as the market appreciates, it's going to appreciate in value. So the real question to ask yourself is, how much upside could you potentially see in this? Well, based on the exchange that I'm looking at this, which is Coinbase, let me see if there's an exchange that has more. Ugh. Wow, it's just ugly. Is there anything that has more price data? So I'm only seeing Coinbase that has the most price data. We've created new lows since here, since when it was first initiated on Coinbase at like, wow, that is amazing. We created a low here at 1.4 cents, and we went all the way down to like 1 cent. So this project has been a shit show. Again, I want you to hear what I'm saying and what I'm not saying. I'm not telling you that the project, I know somewhat about the project itself, fundamentals. I'm not telling you that the project itself fundamentally doesn't seem like a great investment opportunity. I'm just looking at the chart and telling you what I'm seeing. This looks horrendous. So I would do short-term swing trade plays on this until it proves to me that it can sustain price movements to the upside, because this chart looks horrible. Okay. All right. Hey, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Really appreciate the support. Look for a new video tomorrow. It'll be pretty brief, concise. The thing about the video that I'm going to put out tomorrow is that it really should leave you feeling confident that the odds and the probabilities are in our favor, that the bottom is in, but not even more importantly that the bottom is in. It should leave you feeling confident that we are at a generational buying opportunity and that it would be foolish not to be buying in at these levels, okay? Yeah. And I'm also going to be doing I will definitely be doing the Bitcoin crypto weekly closed live stream on Sunday, so tune in for that. So until next time, as always, hey, cheers everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Spread awareness and carry the education forward. Appreciate the viewership.